Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show. Welcome to another episode of Introduction to Calligraphy. How is everyone doing today? Are you having a nice day? Welcome to Introduction to Calligraphy. Hello. How y'all doing today? Are you having a nice day? I hope you're having a nice day wherever you are in the world. Let's do some... Oops. Housekeeping. Really quick. Okay. Okay, cool. And we are live. Alright then. Let's get this party started. Huh? Let's get it started in here. Alright. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show. January reminders are YouTube Live, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific. Bujo videos are on Saturday. And Friday will be a currently inked. 2 days currently inked. Pen is the Moonman T1 with Die-Made Little Bob, aka Robert. Little sample of Die-Made Robert. And the daily things. Let's take a look at the daily things. Okay. Calendar says that today is little Miss Pearl Petlin's birthday. Happy birthday, Pearl. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. Today's weather is 75 degrees and partly cloudy. Today's question of the day is, do you celebrate the things you have? Today's quote of the day is, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. All of the emails have been read, and I am live. Ooh, pretty. And I have liked all of the YouTube, Instagram posts to this point. And I've sent out the birthday messages. Cool. I've looked at most of the notifications, and I've answered all of the comments. I thought that this page was neat. It tells you what time the sun came up. It came up at 8:41 this morning, and it'll go down at 5 p.m. Yesterday it was at 8:42. Tomorrow it'll be at 8:40. The days are getting longer, 1 minute on each side. So that's cool. Alright. Let's see about this. Yesterday, I did not have lunch. I watched all the subscriptions, the Yahoo, the Gmail, the YouTube. Check the snail mail. I got What did I get yesterday? I've decided that I'm going to write everything down that I get in the mail, so that way I have an idea of what's coming in. Yesterday I got a letter from Chris. That was really cool. Thank you, Chris. And I wrote her back. And yesterday I also sent out a letter to Richard Myers, so he should be getting that pretty soon. 23. I had dinner. What did I have? I had a tuna sandwich. I watched cartoons, took a shower, ate my pills, drank some coffee, tea, YouTube, and went to bed. No Zoom. No shopping. I did watch some Netflix, and I did watch some TikTok, and I did my blood pressure yesterday. Today, I had coffee and watched Kathy and had breakfast and did the calendar and the question and the quote and the weather and the Yahoo and the Gmail and the Instagram and the birthday message, the Facebook notifications, YouTube comments, the bank, the EBT, and I am live. So that is good. Okie dokie. Today, let's check the bullet journal just to make sure that I got my Blick Nibs in, so that's cool. I got my Conical Rainbow, and I got my Blick Nibs. Cool. Today is Pearl Pentland's birthday, so happy birthday, Pearl. And yesterday, okay, good. And that is all for today. Let's see, and I started the daily journal. Cool. Okay, today in Introduction to Calligraphy, we're going to talk about the parts and features of pens. Now, in order to do that, we're going to have to go over a lot of different types of pens. So I hope you're all sitting down, got a nice coffee. We're going to talk about different types of nibs that you will come across when doing calligraphy. These are all of the different types of pens that I could think of that have a vast difference from each other. This might not even be the whole collection. So, when doing calligraphy, you're going to come across about 1,000,001 different types of nibs to do calligraphy with. Now, nib can be anything from a brush like these, let's see, a brush like these. Why isn't it there? A brush like these with bristles, water brush, or you can use they have pen brush calligraphy, which is like a small sponge type of nib, to a fountain pen brush, which uses actual bristles, to glass dip nibs. We have all seen this before, but this is a glass dip pen. Has little flutes on it to hold the ink that lead it down to the tip. And each nib that you come across will be a different size, a different shape. Every single one of them will be different ever so slightly. And that is what's really great about using certain types of... Hiya, Gary, how are ya? Are you having a nice day? That's a great thing about learning about different types of tools for calligraphy. You can have the same type of pen. I have about 8 of these here, Jinhao 992s. They're in all different... They're all different, every single one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 of them, and they're all different. Every single one of them are different. While I have this open, you'll also come across, we'll get into that later. You'll find dip pen calligraphy uses these little metal thingies, these little metal nibs that you stick into a nib holder, and you dip in calligraphy ink and write with it. And dip pens have a whole range of different types of nibs, and they all look very different from each other. Where can I use a pen? It's just... There, maybe that's easier to see. Yeah, so... You'll see that different dip nibs look different from each other. And they all have different properties. And this is a fountain pen nib. And you can definitely tell the difference between the fountain pen nibs and the dip nibs. They might look similar, but they're definitely different in shape and in texture and the way that they write. And a fountain pen nib, you can put in a fountain pen, and you can also put it in a dip nib holder. And voila. And use it to dip and write with. So, we will go over each of these things later. You'll find that there's different sizes to these dip nibs, to the nibs. This is a very small nib compared to this nib, which is a fairly large nib. The way to tell the difference between the two is the part that goes just on the inside of this part right here, which is called the nib housing or the grip section. Sometimes the nib housing and the grip section are one. Sometimes they are separate. This has a nib housing and a grip section. So you can tell because you'll be able to pull the nib housing out of the grip section. So you'll find different size nibs across multiple different types of pens too. Some nibs are interchangeable between other pens. Say pens that have a number 5 size nib, you can also put those on other size 5 nib fountain pens. And number 6 size nibs can go on its number 6 size nibs. For example, these are NOODLERS pens, but you will notice that one thing is not like the other. This here is a Fountain Pen Revolution Ultraflex nib, but it is a number 6 size Ultraflex nib, and this is a NOODLERS number 6 size nib. And because it's a number 6 size nib, it can be taken out and interchanged with the number 6 size pen. See? Isn't that cool? Some pen makers will tell you that if you do this, you will void the warranty. Pay attention to your warranties, because if you do not, you may regret it. So, if it tells you not to do that, do not disassemble the pen or it will void your warranty. If you want to keep your warranty, or if something breaks, or if something happens to your pen, and you want to be able to send it to the wherever you bought it to have them fix it, if they have that type of a service, then obviously don't do that. We'll talk about the feed tomorrow. Other types of nibs you will find are called hooded nibs. Hooded nibs are named so because they have a little tiny hood on them, and they are usually conical shaped, which means they are shaped in a tube like this. This is another hooded nib. And you can see let's just get way down in here. You can kind of see that it is conical. You see how it is shaped? Is this inked? Oh my goodness. Might have been in the wash pile. Now I'm all inky. Whatever. As you can see, it is a conical shape, or a cone type shape. And sometimes you can find other conical shaped nibs that will fit these types of feeds. Now, these are not easy to put back together, so if you can avoid taking them apart, I would avoid it at all cost, because it takes a lot of fiddling to get it back so that the nib is facing northbound and the feed isn't off. Okay, hold on, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. There. So, if you can avoid taking it apart, do so, because it'll save you a lot of time and headache. Other types of nibs you will find, there's something called a broad edge nib. A broad edge nib basically means that there's a flat part on the nib instead of being a pointed pen nib or a fountain pen nib. You'll find a broad-edged calligraphy nib to do block type style calligraphy, Gothic style calligraphy, other types of broad-edged calligraphy. And you will also find that number 5 size nibs, other 5 and 6 size nibs, can also come with a broad style nib also. Which are very nice, because then you don't have to continuously dip them. And you'll find that some nibs come with a feed and an ink reservoir or a cartridge or eyedropper, and some do not. Let's see. And so you'll find that some nibs are what's called proprietary, which means that they only fit on their type of pen. This is a Lamy pen. I only know that there are very few Lamy style pens that can accept Lamy style nibs. At least without being forceful or overbearing to get it on or off. Other nibs are pretty simple. This is obvious. This is probably not obvious to you, but this is a roller ball or a gel or a roller ball style nib, and a lot of people kind of interchangeably use rollerball, ink ball, gel roller, those words to define this ball type of nib. And the little tiny ball on there is so small, yet creates amazing smoothness to writing and not so amazing smoothness to other writing. Let's see, what else? You'll find pencils or colored wax or some type of wax made nib or graphite. This is a Papermate clear point. It's great for using demonstrator purposes, but this too has a nib that holds lead. And to collapse it, you just push it in, then it won't break. Other types of nibs, the Sharpie has what's called a felt nib. It's a piece of felt, and it has a reservoir of ink inside the barrel that feeds through the grip section out the felt, and you can write with that. It's the same type of mechanism with the Pentel touched sign pens, a lot of the modern calligraphy pens. Markers. Markers have a nib. What else has a nib? Those are pretty much some of the nibs that you may come across. You might even find that there's different types of nibs for different types of materials or inks. This is a glue ink pen with a roller ball. So that's cool. What else? I think that those are all of the kinds of nibs that I can think of. This is a conical style hooded nib. Number 6 size nibs. Most of the companies that you come across will all look different. Some will be kind of plain looking with just the name. Some don't have a breather hole. Oh, that's something we should cover. Some nibs have this little thing right here, which is called a breather hole. And it provides ink flow out through the nib due to resistance from gravity. So some nibs do not have a breather hole, they just have a slit. The slit is the thing that goes all the way down from inside the grip section out to the end of the nib. And most nibs come with this little ball on the end, which is called tipping material. It's usually made of a hard substance like rhodium, or sometimes you'll find them with titanium. And every once in a great while you will find one that doesn't have any tipping material, which is fairly rare because they want you to buy a pen and use it for life. But there are pens out there that do not have any tipping material at all. The nibs will be made out of different substances also. These nibs here are made of spring steel, which is a very bendable, a very flexible substance. But you can see it has a problem of rusting. When you get these types of nibs, they will come very shiny. They will come very shiny. With a coating on them of some sort of wax. You can scrub it off with an old toothbrush and some toothpaste. Most fountain pen nibs will be made out of steel. This is made out of steel. And it has a round breather hole. The breather hole really doesn't have to have a shape, but it sometimes can felicitate capillary action. Some nibs, this one does not have a breather hole, which is fine. Oh dear. This does not go in this pen. You will also find that sometimes the feeds will be different sizes. So make sure that you keep the feed with the pen that came with it. Just putting that out there for future me. So, any questions, comments, concerns? Some nibs will be made out of a substance that is fairly rare in the world. They'll be made out of gold. This is a gold pilot falcon nib. It is called so because it looks like the beak of a falcon, supposedly. And you will note that on the nib, turn that off, you'll be able to see it says 14K 585. That denotes how many grams of gold per alloy that there are. So that's just one type of gold. This is a very old pen. It's over 100 years old. This here is the Waterman 12 POC pen. Made from May of 1899 to August of 1903. There is a gold nib with a heart-shaped breather hole. Isn't that pretty? And it is very flexy. We'll go over that another day. Nibs can also be made out of titanium, steel, gold. What else? Can't really think of other pen nib materials at this moment in time, but I'm sure that they are made out of many different types of materials in the world, many types of metals. If you have a specially made nib type of metal, let me know in the comment section below. I just criticized someone for making a lot of companies have stick to one type of nib per range. Pilot, on the other hand, makes multiple types of nibs for their style of pens. This is a gold Falcon, this is a Pilot Parallel, and this is a Pilot Petite 1. And you notice that they're all Pilot, but they're all different too. Now, when people talk about the size of nib, they're usually talking about either number 5 or number 6 or number 4 or whatever. That is this part right here. The part between my fingers is called the shoulders. And depending on how wide the shoulders are, will depend on if it will fit into the grip section of that pen. Like I showed you before, this is a number 6 size pen because the space between the shoulders is 6 millimeters. Between there and there, that's 6 millimeters across. You will find all kind of nib sizes out there. The gold Waterman is a size 2, although it is not 2 millimeters across. I do not know how they determined the size 2. It's more like a size 4. Let's see. Any guesses of how big it is? .7, so it's almost a size 5. Almost a size 5. This here is a size 5.2. So each one of these will be different. This is a size 6. This is size 6.3. Let's take a look at the other size. 6 nib. .2. So you'll find that each one of them is just a little bit different than the other. If you're not sure what nib size goes into your pen, consult the dealer that you bought it from. And try not to put any other size nibs in there, because I don't think that they will fit. A number size 5 nib will not fit inside of this number 6 nib, because the arc is a different angle. That's another thing you should watch out for. Angles of arcs. There are number size 6 nibs that will not fit into other size 6 nib holders or pens because they're proprietary. This, for example, is a number 5 Yovo nib, and you can put a number 5 size not Yovo nib on here, but it might not fit inside of the grip section. Or if it does, it's going to fit very tight. You don't want your nibs to fit in there very tight. You want them to just be able to pull them out real easy like. And this will come with a little bit of trial and error. Older nibs have weird sizes, as we see with the Waterman. Waterman has a number 2 size nib. I don't know why they called it a 2. It's not 2 millimeters across. There's it's more like a size 4. The other one that might fit in this one is this NOODLERS. Oh, you shouldn't pull your nibs in and out of your Waterman. Shut up. Just shut up. This is a 4.7. Oh, like a 5.0. And this is like a 4.7, 4.6. So this NOODLERS Nib Creeper nib might fit inside of this Waterman fountain pen. Okay, where is it? It's got a hole somewhere. Oh, there it is. That actually fits. Ah! Well, I don't know if this number 2 nib will fit in this Nib Creeper. It does fit. How about that? But the thing about this that you will find that, hiya Aaron, how are ya? Are you having a nice day? Sorry, I'm rambling on, don't notice. You'll find that sometimes if you use an older nib in a new pen, that the feed isn't wide enough. There's not enough ink to keep up with whatever you're doing. We will get into feeds tomorrow, but for right now, that's not the way. There we go. Well, all of the nibs are different. So here on the sides of the nib or the shoulders. And this bit here is called the tipping material. And the little bit that goes down the middle of it is called the slit. And if there's a little hole in it, that's a breather hole. It's either called a breather hole, or in the case of the dip nib, they either call it an ink reservoir or an ink window. And they all will have different amounts of flexiness or stiffness, if that's a word. This number 5 nib does not flex at all. The broad edges usually do not flex at all. But this one here, as you can see, with the shoulders cut out, makes it very easy for it to flex out. So that's another thing to look out for, and we'll go over that later. What else? Any questions, comments, concerns? So far, so good. Everybody on the same page? Cool. How you doing? A world of snail mail? How's it going? Are you having a nice day? We're just sitting here talking about nibs. Nibs in fountain pens. Whatever you do, do not let your pens roll off your desk. Use something soft to put them on instead of something that's going to allow them to roll off the desk. There, that's better. Okay, so any comments, concerns? Comments, questions, concerns? I'm sure that there will be a plenty after this. So, what did you guys think of that video? Was it fun? Writing letters. Oh, nice. If there's anything I didn't cover that you had a question or comment or concern on, please leave those in the comment section below. I read all of them, and they will either get a like and a written response or a heart. That needs to go in the wash. There's another one that needed to go in the wash. I don't remember. Well, anyway, that is all for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed that video. I hope that you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. And I